60-second Nikke reviews, Episode 8, Agent Bunny. Go! 8 has surprisingly good buff stats with her kit, especially for her burst skill. Her skill 1 is fairly straightforward, buffing the team's attack by 15.2% of 8's attack for 5 seconds whenever she lands a fully charged shot within her effective range. That effective range is then buffed by the skill's secondary effect called Spy Lens, but for ease of gameplay you essentially need to focus on far distance enemies to consistently proc her skill 1 buff. Hitting fully charged shots on enemies within the range also buffs the team's pierce damage by 18.36% through her skill 2, and once Spy Lens in her skill 1 is fully stacked, 8 herself gains a 16% attack increase and adds pierce to her shots for the rest of the fight. Finally, her burst buffs the whole team's attack damage and pierce damage by 55.04% and 10.13% respectively, and on top of that then also increases her own effective range by 55.56%, all of which lasts for a full 10 seconds. In comparison, one of the most notoriously powerful support units in the game, Leader, buffs her team's attack by 66% for only 5 seconds, meaning 8 buffs for 10% less, but the buff lasts for twice as long. 8 is a sniper unit, and snipers deal the most damage on the longest possible ranges. 8's whole kit is therefore geared towards aiming towards the targets furthest away, and thus increasing her own damage output continuously through a fight, and then stacking buffs on top of her team through her attacks if managed correctly, meaning she could potentially be a really strong support unit for an interception team against ENVtuber that includes Alice and D Killer Wife. Being an Iron Code Nikke, she could also potentially replace Helm, Aquamarine, or Leader in interception teams against Ultra, but that is only if you also have Red Hood in your collection. Having tested both team comps in Union range, I can report that there was only a damage difference of about 4 million, with the team without 8 ending up coming out on top. It requires further testing, but it's a very small damage loss, especially if you consider that 8 isn't optimally or even fully built in her trial version. Definitely worth pulling for if you have the right units, if you need a buffer for your sniper units, or simply if you just want her for her burst buffs. A tier, 8 out of 10.